Man, it has turned out to be a beautiful day. We're supposed to get a thunderstorm here later, and it's supposed to be all nasty and overcast, and it has really warmed up. I've had to strip down. I had 2 extra layers on, and I've made my way down to the creek here. You can see that. This is a fishing hole. I'm kind of seeing if I can eyeball the bluegill and the trout, and I don't know if there's bass in this creek or not. But anyways, I'm gonna have to rebuild my fishing kit, and I need to figure out how much line and stuff I need to put in it. But I want to go ahead and do a video on realistic survival, stuff for common folks, and I want to just touch on gear. Now, I'm not going to give like necessarily a gear list. It's an approach to your gear. You've got to take what people say with a grain of salt. I don't have a right to dictate or try to push any particular kit list or anything like that on anybody. It's your gear list or your survival kit is a personal choice, custom tailored to your skills, your needs, your environment, your time of year, whatever, whatever you are trying to survive. And also tailored to what you're out doing. A lot of survival skills are based around wilderness survival. There's some urban stuff out there, but most of it is more wilderness stuff. So like the 5 C's of survivability, Dave Canterbury's deal, it's a good system. I find myself going through the checklist, but he'll say it himself that they're meant for a woodland environment, those 5 C's, and it goes up to 10, 15, 20, but those 5 C's are the hardest things to build from scratch on the landscape. So if you have those 5 things, you have a really good jump start on what you're going to need. And they're not completely useless in an urban environment, but they may not be exactly what you need for an urban environment. Say your proverbial survival knife. The knife has people carry pocket knives for a reason. But in an urban environment, me personally, I carry a Leatherman Wave. It's good because the tools on it are good for urban and wilderness. It's got a wood saw and stuff on it. But people build this big woodland survival kit, or they read these survival books and they get a gear list built up, and it's more for you're stuck out in the middle of the woods, when in reality, the highest probability of a survival situation happening is, in everyday life. Maybe if you're traveling or something, but if an earthquake hits, or something unexpected, not to say the hurricane that's been coming up the Gulf for a week that everyone knows about, and that's not taking you by surprise, but something that can take you by surprise. Chances are you're going to be like coming home from work, something like that. So like in my personal thing, we are coming up on, sorry, the dog's begging for attention. We're coming up on the spring rains in April, and we have really bad flash floods. So that's something I need to be aware of. Go back a couple of months into January, December, and I've got a 10, 12 mile commute to and from work. So I could slide off the road. So, in that case, I don't need a whole backpack full of gear. I need warm clothes and a good pair of boots so that I can, get up and keep going or something, flag down help or something. So you've got to think about what you're packing and what you need, given the circumstances of that day, circumstances of that month, that season, and what you're going to be facing in your area. Up in Washington, we had occasional earthquakes, snows, ocean storms that blew in. So we had that kind of stuff. Around here in Missouri, we have tornadoes. We have flash floods. We have a decent amount of snow. It can dump. We had just a couple months ago. We had 6 inches of water fall in less than 36 hours or something like that. It wasn't even 2 days, but we had 6 inches of waterfall. And last year we had even more than that when that big storm front that went from Texas all the way up north of Missouri. We had floods all over the place. And, I am going to be going into individual gears and skills, that a more realistic approach to those things. But, you gotta think about your circumstances and what gear you need and what fits your skills. Like that. Everyone knows how to use a Bic lighter. Not everyone knows how to use a ferro rod. If you don't know how to use it, don't put it in your kit. Or if you want to, get one and practice with it. And do your research. So, anyways, that's part 2, and it's more of a more of a mental approach. Think about it first.